Man, it feels so good to be doing this again, you know? The recording, the scripting, the writing, the journey, the path.
Oh my god, we get it. Just get to the game. Nobody's gonna watch the video anyways.
You can be so mean, you know? Run, shut up! VirtuaVerse. Okay, let's get into the swing of things with the reason you guys are here, which is this game. VirtuaVerse is a cyberpunk point-and-click adventure set in a future not so far away, narrating tales of technomancers, AVR graffiti writers, hacker groups, tribes of crypto shamans, digital archaeology, epic wars, and virtual reality debauchery. Yeah, anyway, so why this game? Well, several reasons actually. One of the biggest ones being that I haven't reviewed a game in over a year, so I don't want to jump into a meaty game. I wanted a simple point-and-click game which I can finish the review rather quickly and, you know, as a warm-up exercise. Thus, VirtuaVerse. It was that and the fact that I'm writing a novel set in 2074, so I'm trying to get my hands on all the sci-fi material that I can. And another reason I chose the game was because Deus Ex Mankind Divided doesn't run at a stable 60 FPS in 1080p on my PC. Thank you, Microsoft, DirectX 12 and MSAA. So with that being said, here's VirtuaVerse. Released in May 13th, 2020 makes this game a very recent game, just barely under a month old actually, which means I'm gonna have to keep the spoilers to a minimum. That said, however, I will be covering around the first 40% of the game just to give you guys a good idea of what the atmosphere and writing is like. I will stop before the plot gets crazy, but before we begin though, I would like to just point out that I'm no expert when it comes to point-and-click games. I mean, I can count all the ones I played with one hand probably, if you count Five Nights at Freddy's and its sequels as one game. And yeah, one hand. So this review is mostly for people like me who haven't played a lot of point-and-click adventure games and would like to start with a game. Also, I'm secretly hoping that this game will prepare me for the Clock Tower series, because if I remember correctly, the first two games in that series are point-and-click games. I have only played the third one, which is not a point-and-click game. You know, but enough of that. Let's jump into VirtuaVerse!
For the love of God, this is a point-and-click adventure game. You will not play it with a controller. Go to your computer!
The game starts in a... Oh wow, holy crap, look at this game. I'm a big fan of pixel art and I can't even get to the story before I talk about the graphics. This game is so eye-meltingly beautiful. During my entire playthrough of the game, which was 15 hours by the way, I was not even for a second tired of looking at the game. The colors, the lights, the ambience. Who the hell wakes up like that? Well, I guess we might as well start the story then. You play as the faceless protagonist Nathan, who's looking for his girlfriend. Yep, I shit you not, that's what you do for the first few hours of the game. When I first purchased the game, I did not see that coming. Metal Gear, you have to infiltrate Shadow Moses. Snake! Deus Ex Human Revolution, your workplace gets attacked by a group of extremists. VirtuaVerse, my homie can't find his girl. Well shit, let's help him. But before we can help him, we have to fix his AVR glasses. What are AVR glasses, you ask? Well, near as I can tell, they are sort of like a way more advanced version of the Microsoft HoloLens, as you can see here. They allow you to see things that are not there, and it's actually really cool. Aside from people getting drugged out on them, this game's poster says it all, I guess. But like I said, we have to fix them first, so that means it's time to talk about the gameplay. And what can I say? Other than this game plays pretty much how I expected a point-and-click game would play. You can interact with almost everything in this game, from people to items to walls to garbage. It's actually really impressive. As for the people in this game, as you would expect, they have multiple dialogue options, some of which are necessary to progress the story. If you don't see the dialogue option required, then that means there is a puzzle you have yet to solve. Puzzles that would require items or background objects that you have yet to interact with. The puzzles begin in your apartment, where you find a message from your girlfriend written on your bathroom mirror, with which I can only assume is lipstick, telling you that she had to leave, but I can't tell you why. Personally, I think I know why she left. This dude's apartment doesn't have any curtains. Where the hell do they bang? Or who knows, maybe they're into that sort of thing. After getting comfortable with your surroundings and the gameplay controls, our hero gets on his bike and sets off in search of his girlfriend. On that journey, you will learn more about the world and the people in it, and the dialogue and story developments that happen in the first level are all pretty good and got me invested in the game. A little tip though, if you ever get stuck, you have this watch that will always remind you of your objective. It's very helpful if you stop playing for a while because you had to do your taxes something and you have no clue what you're supposed to do when you eventually come back to the game. Oh boy, so I covered most of the things in this game in a non-spoilery kind of way, I hope. So that means it's time for me to give you my overall thoughts. The game starts out strong and ends pretty well. It's the middle section that I didn't care for that much, because after you find your girlfriend, I don't know what happens to the writing, but it takes a nosedive and it just feels so very generic. I'm not gonna lie, getting through the middle section of the game was a chore. What makes that even worse is that the puzzles got so confusing. The solutions to quite a number of them was very convoluted in a dumb way. It would have been one thing if the story at least remained consistent throughout the aforementioned puzzles, because then at least I would have had a reason to keep going, but neither were. Though thankfully, like I mentioned early regarding this, that it only applies to the middle section of the game. The game does pick up during the last half, not just in the story and puzzle department, but in the environments as well. Though admittedly the puzzles pick up more so than the story, but still overall it does get better. One last thing to mention, because I'm only showing the early parts of the game, which is why I have to mention that this game isn't all purple neon lights everywhere. You will see different areas and environments that I don't want to spoil here. I played this game for 15 hours, and I would say the middle section, which took me about 4 hours to beat, was not very enjoyable. But looking at the fact that that basically leaves 4 hours of fun, I can give the game a break on that. Helps that the music is pretty dope. Yeah, this is one soundtrack I'm glad to have found, because immediately upon beating the game, I went over to Bandcamp and bought the damn thing. In fact, let me end the review on this. The game is only 15 bucks on Steam, it offers a lengthy campaign, fantastic visuals, and good puzzles. And while the middle section is not that great, I don't think it stops me from recommending the game, as long as you know some puzzles will frustrate you and will require some patience. But hey, if a dum-dum like me can beat the game, then so can you. And with that being said, for those of you who are watching, wherever you may be in this world, thank you guys for watching, and stay alive until the next video.